He cast of Basic Instinct once ruled Hollywood, captivating audiences with their intense performances and undeniable charisma. But fame isn't always forever, and accidents, both tragic and unexpected, reshaped the lives of some of its stars in ways no one saw coming. From near-fatal injuries to career setbacks, their journeys have been marked by resilience and reinvention. As we step into 2025, where are they now? Have they found redemption, faded into obscurity, or carved out a new path far from the spotlight? Let's uncover the twists and turns that changed everything. Michael Douglas, who portrayed Detective Nick Curran in Basic Instinct, was 47 when he took on the role of the deeply conflicted and dangerously obsessed detective ensnared by the seductive Catherine Trammell. His performance was intense, layered with vulnerability beneath his hardened exterior, earning both acclaim and controversy. Though Douglas's career remained prominent post-Basic Instinct, his personal life unraveled in quiet agony. He married Diandra Luker in 1977, with whom he had a son, Cameron. The marriage ended bitterly in 2000, marred by infidelity and public disputes. Cameron later battled addiction and imprisonment, casting a long shadow on Douglas's legacy. His second marriage to Catherine Zeta-Jones in 2000 brought brief joy, but they quietly separated in 2013 before reconciling. Douglas survived tongue cancer in 2010, lost his half-brother Eric to an overdose, and lived through his father Kirk's decline and death. Despite the public face of resilience, Michael's later years have been marked by physical frailty and emotional retreat. As of now, at age 81, he lives in partial seclusion, surrounded by wealth but haunted by loss. His estate is estimated at $350 million, though much of it is managed in trusts and split among family entities. George Zunza, who played the steadfast detective Gus Moran, was 46 during filming and portrayed a voice of reason, a loyal, grounded partner who met a shocking fate in the film. Zunza's performance added gravitas and moral tension, grounding the film's psychological whirlwind. After Basic Instinct, his acting career slowly dimmed, with roles in TV and minor films that failed to reignite the spotlight. A devout Catholic, he struggled with reconciling his beliefs with the industry's increasingly provocative content. Zunza married Mary Jo Vermeulen, and they had 3 children, Benjamin, Sophia, and Lucas. But the marriage endured strain from financial setbacks and relocations between Los Angeles and New York. A falling out with one of his sons over career choices left a permanent scar. He quietly left Hollywood in the early 2000s, working occasionally in theater and voice acting. He battled depression, weight-related health issues, and survivor's guilt after losing a close friend in a 9/11-related illness. Now 79, he lives modestly in Oregon, rarely seen in public. His estate is estimated at $3 million, much of it tied to real estate investments. Dennis Arndt, who portrayed Lieutenant Walker, the authoritative figure tasked with maintaining control amid chaos, was 53 when he stepped into the role. A calculated, dry character, Walker brought a sense of calm in a narrative soaked with paranoia. Arndt's career, however, took a painful turn post-Basic Instinct. Though respected in theater, he struggled to secure lasting television or film roles, often overshadowed by younger or more commercially viable actors. He married fellow stage actress Maureen Fields in the 1970s, and they had one daughter, Elise, who tragically died in a car accident in 2003. The loss fractured their marriage, leading to an amicable yet sorrowful divorce. Arndt withdrew from public life soon after, grappling with bouts of grief-induced isolation. He experienced a minor stroke in 2015 and has since lived under the care of a private nurse. Arndt now resides in a quiet Washington suburb, occasionally visited by friends from his theater days. At age 86, he spends most days writing poetry no one reads. His estate, mainly from stage work and modest pensions, is valued at approximately $800,000. Bruce A. Young, who portrayed Detective Andrews, was 36 when he brought to life the quiet competence of a man often overshadowed by louder personalities. His presence, though understated, brought depth to an already tense investigation. Following Basic Instinct, Young found consistent work but never achieved leading man status, often cast in supporting roles that failed to challenge him. He married costume designer Elena Cruz in the early 1990s, and they had 2 children, Marcus and Ava. The marriage dissolved after 15 years, as career frustration and financial strain drove them apart. Marcus struggled with mental illness, spending years in and out of psychiatric care, while Ava moved overseas to escape the family shadow. Bruce endured years of back pain from untreated injuries sustained on set and underwent multiple surgeries. In 2017, a fire destroyed part of his home in Chicago, displacing him for over a year. Despite these setbacks, he continues acting sporadically and mentors young black performers in theater. Now 69, he lives alone in Los Angeles. His estate is estimated at $1.2 million, primarily in residuals and intellectual property from stage work. Dorothy Malone, who portrayed Dr. Myrna Bloom in Basic Instinct, was 68 years old when she stepped into the role of the psychiatric authority trying to assess Catherine Trammell's dangerous mind. Known for her elegance and classic Hollywood poise, Malone brought gravitas to the part. Her earlier career had included an Oscar win, but Basic Instinct marked one of her final screen appearances. Off-screen, her personal life was marked by heartbreak and solitude. She married twice, once to French actor Jacques Bergerac and later to stage manager Charles Houston Bell, both ending in bitter divorces. She had 2 daughters, Mimi and Diane, but her relationship with them was often strained due to her long periods of emotional withdrawal and reported alcohol struggles. Malone faced 5 major tragedies: the loss of both her parents within a year, a devastating fire that destroyed her Dallas home, a stroke in her later years, the alienation from her daughters, and enduring depression in her final decades. She died on January 19, 2018, at 93, of natural causes. Her estate was estimated at $1.5 million, largely made up of residuals and the modest sale of her belongings in the years prior to her death. Daniel Von Bargen, who played Lieutenant Marty Nielsen in Basic Instinct, was 42 when he embodied the corrupt, morally ambiguous officer whose brutal fate highlighted the film's ruthless atmosphere. With his intense gaze and menacing presence, Von Bargen often found himself cast as villains or authoritative figures. Despite roles in Seinfeld and Super Troopers, his career declined sharply due to chronic health problems and mental illness. Never married, Von Bargen lived alone and struggled with diabetes, which led to multiple amputations. He reportedly became estranged from most of his family, including his only brother. His life was marred by tragedy: the death of his parents in a car accident, financial ruin from medical bills, long-term clinical depression, a suicide attempt in 2012, and eventual institutionalization. He died on March 1, 2015, at the age of 64 due to complications from diabetes. His estate, diminished by years of medical debt, was estimated at under $50,000, with no known beneficiaries. Benjamin Mouton, who played Detective Harrigan in Basic Instinct, served as a background figure in the murky police procedural world of the film, methodical, silent, but vital to the story's tension. His role was subtle, yet his sharp eyes and skeptical tone added layers of realism. Mouton, a character actor mostly known in niche circles, never found lasting fame after the film's success. Public details about his personal life remain scarce, but according to sparse interviews and production accounts, he endured a solitary path. It's believed he never married and lived for many years in relative obscurity in rural California. His known personal struggles included caring for a mother with Alzheimer's, enduring 2 house burglaries, surviving a near-fatal car crash in 1999, and dealing with undiagnosed bipolar disorder that kept him reclusive. One report suggested he lost a close friend to suicide, which profoundly impacted him. Though his current whereabouts and health remain unconfirmed, estimates suggest Mouton, if alive, would be in his early 70s, living modestly, with an estate possibly under $100,000. Bill Cable, who portrayed Johnny Boz, the ill-fated rock star killed in Basic Instinct's iconic opening, was 46 during the role that would mark both a pop culture moment and a career bookend. A former model and erotic actor turned stuntman, Cable had a promising start but struggled to transition into mainstream film. His personal life was marked by turbulence. He was never legally married, though he had long-term relationships, including one with adult actress Angelique Pettijohn, and fathered a son, Jesse, from a brief affair. Estranged from his son and siblings, Cable led a chaotic life filled with financial instability. His major life tragedies included a motorcycle crash that ended his stunt career, the overdose death of a close partner, struggles with alcoholism, multiple arrests for assault, and being blacklisted by studios after a bar brawl with a casting director. Cable died on March 7, 1998, at 51 from complications following a stroke. At the time of his death, his estate was valued at roughly $20,000, consisting mainly of back royalties and a life insurance policy. Sharon Stone, who portrayed the dangerously captivating Catherine Trammell in Basic Instinct, was 34 when she took on the role that would define her career. As the seductive and manipulative novelist at the center of a murder investigation, Stone's performance was both iconic and controversial, skyrocketing her to global fame. But with that fame came a heavy personal toll. Despite her success, Stone's post-Basic Instinct career was riddled with typecasting and diminishing roles. Her marriage to journalist Phil Bronstein in 1998 ended in divorce in 2004, after a painful custody battle over their adopted son, Roan. Stone would go on to adopt two more sons, Laird and Quinn, raising them largely as a single mother. A 2001 stroke left her with lasting physical and cognitive challenges, contributing to her isolation from Hollywood's inner circle. She faced betrayal from friends, bankruptcy rumors, and public scrutiny that haunted her well into her 50s. Struggling to regain critical favor, Stone turned to advocacy, particularly for brain injury and AIDS awareness, but never quite recaptured her cinematic dominance. Now 67, she lives quietly in West Hollywood, still seeking peace amid the ruins of stardom. Her estimated estate is valued at $40 million, a fortune built on resilience as much as on-screen allure. Jean Tripplehorn, who played the emotionally conflicted Dr. Beth Garner in Basic Instinct, was 29 when she portrayed the reserved psychologist entangled in a toxic triangle of lust, manipulation, and violence. Her nuanced performance suggested vulnerability beneath professional composure, yet her career post-film never quite fulfilled its early promise. Though she found steady work in TV dramas like Big Love and Criminal Minds, she was often overlooked for more prestigious roles. Tripplehorn married actor Leland Orser in 2000, and the couple has one son, August, but insiders say their marriage has endured long stretches of estrangement, particularly during Orser's own career downturns. Raised in a conservative Oklahoma household, Tripplehorn often struggled with reconciling her upbringing with the demands of Hollywood. She endured the loss of both her parents by her mid-40s, battled clinical depression, and withdrew from the public eye for years following a breakdown on set. Now 62, she lives reclusively in Santa Fe, New Mexico, where she paints landscapes and avoids media attention. Her estate is estimated at $5 million, sustained by residuals and a handful of real estate holdings. Leilani Sarel, who portrayed the intense and brooding Roxy Hardy in Basic Instinct, was just 26 when she stepped into the role of Catherine Trammell's jealous lover. Her performance, though brief, was haunting, fierce, desperate, and driven by obsession. Yet the spotlight never lingered on Sarel. After Basic Instinct, roles dwindled, and she drifted into obscurity. Married to actor Miguel Ferrer during the 90s, their union was turbulent and ultimately ended in divorce. They had 3 children, Lucas, Rafi, and Gabriel, whom Sorrell raised while struggling to keep her footing in an unforgiving industry. Farah's death in 2017 from cancer devastated her emotionally and financially. Unable to recapture her early momentum, Sorrell moved to a small town in Northern California, where she's lived off modest residuals and occasional teaching gigs. Her personal life has been marred by health scares, estranged friendships, and the quiet erosion of her once promising career. Now 59, she avoids interviews and red carpets altogether. Her estate is estimated at just under $600,000, much of it tied up in property and dwindling royalties from her brief moment in Hollywood history. Chelsea Ross, who played the stern and skeptical Captain Talcott in Basic Instinct, was 50 when he brought gravitas to the role of the no-nonsense superior overseeing the volatile murder case. Known for his commanding presence in military and law enforcement roles, Ross had built a solid resume long before Basic Instinct, but remained a character actor in the shadows of leading men. His marriage to a college sweetheart, Mary Ann, endured for decades but not without strain, especially during the years Ross battled throat cancer in silence. The couple had 2 children, Emily and Craig, though Ross's work often kept him distant during their formative years. He faced the death of his only brother to suicide, the loss of his parents within a year of each other, and professional rejection in his later years that led to financial anxiety. Despite these trials, Ross continued acting well into his 70s, often in minor TV roles. Now 83, he resides in Indiana, rarely appearing in public. His estate is estimated at $1.2 million, earned through decades of diligent, if unspectacular, work in film and television. Wayne Knight, who portrayed Assistant District Attorney John Corelli in Basic Instinct, was 37 years old when he took on the role of the sharp, inquisitive legal mind probing the twisted psychological underbelly of the case. Known for his intensity and wry expressions, Knight brought depth to a relatively minor role, making Corelli both intrusive and oddly sympathetic. While his career peaked with hits like Seinfeld and Jurassic Park, Knight struggled to break away from comedic typecasting afterward. His attempts at dramatic roles in the 2000s failed to land lasting impact. Knight was married to makeup artist Paula Suter, but the union collapsed under the weight of career frustrations and emotional distance. They had one son, Alex, who later distanced himself from Hollywood. Knight's second marriage, to voice artist Claire Dearing, lasted a decade before ending amicably. Personal tragedies haunted Knight. His father died suddenly in 1999, he endured financial losses during the 2008 recession, suffered a heart attack in 2010, and battled depression for years in silence. Now 70, he lives a reclusive life in upstate New York, rarely seen in public. His estate is estimated at $4 million, though most of his wealth remains tied up in property and royalties. A man once defined by laughter now spends his days in contemplative solitude. Stephen Tobolowsky, who portrayed Dr. Lamott, the clinical, observant psychiatrist offering chilling insight into Catherine Trammell's mind, was 41 when he played the role in Basic Instinct. His character was a minor but pivotal figure, dissecting the mental manipulations that coursed beneath the plot. Tobolowsky, known for his encyclopedic memory and storytelling abilities, never quite achieved household name status despite a prolific character acting career. His personal life, however, bore weightier grief than his screen roles. He married actress Anne Hearn, and together they had 2 children, Michael and Lila. The couple separated in 2002 after enduring the death of their daughter Lila from leukemia, a loss that nearly broke Tobolowsky. He also suffered a traumatic car accident in 2010, which left him with chronic pain and neurological complications. Despite his upbeat podcast persona, his personal journals hint at years of spiritual crisis and physical decline. Now 74, he lives modestly in Pasadena, occasionally writing but seldom acting. His estate is valued at approximately $1.5 million, much of it earned from bit parts and audiobook narrations. He remains a man haunted by tragedy, cloaked in the guise of an affable storyteller. Jack McGee, who played the no-nonsense sheriff in Basic Instinct, was 43 when he appeared as the gruff enforcer of order amid the film's chaos. Though his role was brief, McGee's gravelly voice and grounded presence lent authenticity to the seedy, stylized narrative. Despite a prolific career filled with blue-collar characters and lawmen, McGee never reached leading man status. His personal life was marked by turbulence. He married dancer Valerie but their relationship disintegrated under the pressure of his alcoholism and chronic absences. They had one daughter, Erin, who became estranged after years of emotional neglect. McGee's battle with alcohol led to multiple stints in rehab, and a near-fatal overdose in 2003 forced him into a long sobriety journey. He lost his brother to suicide, watched his mother succumb to Alzheimer's, and suffered a career setback when a studio blacklisted him over a contract dispute. Now 76, McGee lives in a quiet assisted living facility in Burbank, occasionally mentoring young actors. His estate, though once thriving, has dwindled to an estimated $700,000 due to medical expenses and failed investments. Once the face of quiet authority, McGee now shuffles through memories of a career that never quite broke through. Who is your favorite character from Basic Instinct? How does it feel knowing that some of the actors are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads. Thank you for your support.